Is your small business growing? That's the question we address right here on the Grow Your Biz Show. It's where we interview strategic entrepreneurs who inform and inspire you on your solopreneur or small company journey. Thanks for joining us on this episode of the Grow Your Biz Show. Hello and welcome to episode number 92 of the Grow Your Biz Show. I'm your host, Paul Madsen, and the founder of GrowMedia.com. Cyrus, GrowMedia.com helps small companies to grow by help telling their story on social media video and television, just like KPOAO right here. This is Cyrus Jaffrey, the CEO of CJ Insurance Network. It's a new name. I had to look down to get it all done.
Yeah.
We're going to learn Cyrus's great story right after we thank our sponsor. ActionCoachOmaha.com is the global leader in business coaching for small businesses and businesses of all sizes. If you need to clarify your business and if you need to have some accountability in your business, contact Jim Barger at ActionCoachOmaha.com. Cyrus, welcome to the program.
Hey, thanks.
Good to have you here again. You have been on the show before.
Yep, I have.
And Cyrus has the dubious honor of being on the Grow Your Biz Show, actually called something else, for the very first show that we did over 2 years ago now already.
It's been a while.
92 episodes later, 91 episodes later. So awesome. We went over to Cyrus's business and had a lot of fun that day. So welcome back.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Well, Cyrus, I'm just going to jump right in here.
Yep.
Tell us, what business are you in?
Yeah, hey, Paul, thanks for having me.
Glad you're here.
I'm in the business of helping people find financial freedom by customizing their insurance plans.
Wow, financial freedom and peace of mind through insurance customization, you're saying?
Absolutely.
What does that mean when you say customized or personalized?
Yeah.
What does that mean?
Personalized, customized is where we kind of guide you, we help you, we find different options for you, we give you the one-on-one attention that you deserve.
Okay, well, and I think of insurance and I think of bureaucracy, I think of forms, I think of voicemail, I think of being on hold, listening to that bad music.
Yeah.
So if I'm and I have been a customer of you, a customer of your agency, none of that happens or very little of that happens?
No, zero. I know one of our biggest things we work on every day is to make sure that people, when they want to reach us, we want to make sure we're available, right? So no voicemails, we get back to texts, we get back to emails within an hour every time.
Wow.
So that's one thing that we have promised, and we've got a team to do it. So we've got 7 people at the office, so we can make sure we can do that every time.
Well, that takes a little bit of effort, a little bit of work to get that to happen. Well, let's just jump into another question then.
Yeah.
Tell us, Cyrus,
Yeah.
why are you in this business? What made you jump into this crazy business?
Yeah, thanks. Hey, that's a great question. I think everybody has their why.
We're all crazy when we because we're crazy. We start our own business, right?
Yeah, it's definitely.
But there's more to it than that for you, of course.
Yeah, no, it definitely is. From the start, I got into this business pretty young, right out of college, but I got into it to help people, right?
Okay.
So at first you don't understand how you're helping people, but as we've been in it for 8-9 years now, you realize how big of an impact we can make on people's lives, right?
Well, insurance, you don't think about it, you don't want to think about it until what? You need it, right?
Until you need it, yep, and then you definitely call us.
So that's where your personalized approach comes into it. You say you like to help people, is why you want to do it, and you do it with that personalized approach.
Absolutely, personalized approach. They know their agent, they know the staff that they're working with, they know they trust them. We've been in the industry for a while. That's what we do every day.
Well, and that kind of goes to my next question, which is, what does, if you leave the studio here today and head outside, you can throw a rock and probably hit an insurance agency. There's quite a few of them out there.
Yeah.
What makes the CJ Insurance Network unique? What makes it different?
Yeah, no, another great question. You know, I think what makes us unique at CJ Insurance Agency, an independent agency, is the variety of products that we offer to our clients. Again, the personalized and customized portfolio we build for every one of our clients.
Okay.
At the same time, it's not going to break your bank.
Yeah.
And then the last piece of it, I think, is very important, is customer service. I think we've been doing it for 8 or 9 years, and we did it with a major corporation before that. We worked with them for 7 years.
Okay.
You know, and so the whole same staff moved over with us on the independent side.
Wow.
So we wanted to make sure those 3 things we're going to take from our personalized, from our old over to the new,
Okay.
which is we're going to customize it, personalize everything for them, and now we can do a variety of products because we have access to 20
even
different
more.
firms. A lot more, absolutely.
Because before you told me before that you could only help a certain number of people, and why was that, and all that?
Yeah, so before we were helping 2 out of 10 because the corporation that we were with, State Farm, they didn't want everyone, and the rates weren't as good.
Well, I understand that.
And now that we're on this side, one of the biggest things that hurt me when I was over there was I couldn't help. I could help 2 out of 10 people. Now we're helping 9 out of 10, Paul.
And what? Just in case someone doesn't get it, I mean. I applied with you, and for some reason, who knows why I was accepted.
Yep.
But I mean, why does a company like State Farm only want 2 out of 10 people who apply?
Yeah, because they're very selective, you know, because
Okay.
obviously with insurance, you got to have good credit, driving history and all that stuff. And,
Okay.
And homeowners, depends on where your home was built, depends
Okay.
on how big your home is.
Okay.
When was your roof replaced and all that stuff, all that has effect to it,
Okay.
right? So if somebody has, and the combined discounts together
Okay.
kind of makes up for a ton of the, whereas on these other companies, we could do monoline, we can just do an auto by itself, we could do the home by itself,
Sure.
to where we don't have to combine stuff to make it easier for clients.
Oh, interesting. And so
Yeah.
now you have a variety of
Correct.
choice. It's like a buffet.
A buffet, absolutely. And you know, we have 3 or 4 companies that are just like State Farm, A+ rated, Nationwide, Liberty Mutual, Safeco, Travelers. I mean, these companies are just like State Farm. But then we also have some of the other smaller companies, because what hurt me the most, like I was mentioning before, was the other 8 people that I couldn't help.
Right,
You know,
right.
and it just really bothered me a lot. So one of the biggest reasons when we were making the transition was, hey, now we can help everyone. We make a big difference in the community.
Okay.
You know, and we're obviously going to have on the retention side, we were
Sure.
losing a lot of business with State Farm, people shopping us around and leaving us. But now, if our rates do go up or something happens, we can put them with a different company. So
well,
we can
that's-
keep 95% of our business versus 80 to 75% before, which is
Wow.
huge.
Well, that's terrific, and I think I learned from you recently about how different insurance companies each have their own niche, so to speak. I mean, so
Absolutely.
much as down as some companies only want to carry people who have had DUIs or something like
Correct.
that.
Absolutely.
Tell us about that.
Yep.
I mean, again, I guess you're describing the buffet. I'm
Yeah.
going to the buffet, so tell us about that.
Yeah, and the buffet line, I mean, you get your people that are really hungry, you get the people that just have to show up because they're with a friend, you get people that are not hungry, right? So same situation
People
here.
who stuff biscuits in their purse.
Yep, absolutely. You get all of them. So you know, and it's really huge, because somebody that has 2 or 3 accidents, maybe it wasn't their fault, or
Right.
maybe they just had a bad 2 years and they've never had accidents before.
Okay.
I think it's not fair for them to be completely out of companies like State Farm, Allstate, and some of these bigger corporations,
Right.
because they don't want that business. They want the cream of the crop, right?
Well, you just reminded me, I've heard you say before where someone was with your agency
Correct.
for a while, and then maybe they had someone in their family had a problem, and
Correct.
and then what happened?
And then, I mean, they have to, when somebody lives in your household and they have something, then these companies might have to cancel all of them.
And so
The whole
I could be
household.
with you for
Correct.
5 years, and all
Absolutely.
of a sudden someone in my family
Correct.
has a problem, and you have
Yeah.
to call me and tell me what.
And because I'm the agent,
Used
right?
to.
So
Used to have
yep,
to call
I'm
me.
the agent and I'm responsible for that. So I have to call you and say, hey, I'm sorry, your son got in a car accident or a DUI or something. I'm sorry, but we have to cancel everybody because he lives there. And it just didn't sit very well with
Yeah,
me,
that's
you
tough.
know, with
I mean,
the other ones.
you don't think it should work that way.
Because I want to help people. You know, I
But-
can't help people if you're
Sure.
leaving me and I'm not making any money as well. That helps too.
Well,
right?
and how is it different now then?
It's very different now. You know, we can separate people. You know, we can find you a house which takes DUIs, but at the same time, the customer service that you're used to, that never goes away, because we're still there. My team is still there. Everybody is still there. We've been there for 8 years. Combined insurance experience of 43 years at our office.
Wow.
You're going to be taken care of when you come to us, and you can find the best rate as well.
Great customer service, great customization of the buffet,
Yep.
and the same trust that you built over
Absolutely.
8 or 9 years with other major companies.
Absolutely.
So, interesting. Well, that I think another thing that's unique about you, Cyrus, is your personal story,
Yep.
and that makes you unique out there as well. I asked what was unique about you. Well, tell us how you got started in the insurance business, and maybe even a little bit before that in your life.
No, absolutely. My mom and dad are both from Afghanistan. I lived there till I was 14 years old. Moving here at 14 years old, this was 2002, I believe, not knowing any English whatsoever, and coming in here and you're like, whoa, this is a completely different world, So it's been really cool to see my own self develop, and now owning an agency and owning a corporation now where we can make this as big as we want. It's really eye-opening. So, but with that being said, a lot of stuff happened in my life, but at the same time, everything is a learning experience for me, and you learn from it, and you want to become better, and that's what we're moving towards right now.
Right. And so you immigrated as a teenager.
Correct.
And is it Denver you went to? Or?
Moved to Denver right away. We went to high school there, freshman year of high school, and then we moved here about 2003. Right when Nebraska Huskers started not doing so good. Right when I moved here, so it's my fault.
It's your fault, yeah.
So moved here in 2003, went to Miller North High School, kind of got into soccer. Soccer kind of shaped my life, and being responsible and being good at something and all that stuff, and the competitiveness, knowing a lot of people, I got to know so many different people from, which helps my business.
Well, I'm going to back to the I mean, you kind of glaze over the tough part. I mean, what's it like being a teenager in a major city right in those times, those difficult times internationally for the United States? I mean, and not knowing English, I mean, wow.
Yeah,
I mean,
it was tough.
I want to tell people how far you've come, from not knowing English to all that. I mean, that had to be tough.
No, it was. It sure was. And, I think some people take it one way, some people take it differently. For me, it was one of those things to where, we came here right after 2002, obviously 9/11, what happened in 2001. That was, so we didn't get a
warm welcome necessarily.
Not whatsoever. But at the same time, there's nothing we could have done. We just kept fighting, because we came here for a reason. And we had that in mind. And
well, that's why I admire your story, because people think, oh, gee, my life is hard, and I have a lot of adversity, and I mean, with health issues, that people just walk around all day and don't even think about how blessed they are and fortunate they are to be able to just do the daily functions. There's so many people who can't, and other issues. We all think sometimes, things are so tough, but I mean. Put yourself in Cyrus's shoes, for instance. I mean, come here at a tough time, and then how I'm so impressed how you've made so much out of yourself. Soccer was helpful, and you played soccer then in Omaha at high school and also in college.
Yep, both Nebraska Wesleyan University is where I went to college, and then I went obviously Miller North High School, and I played in club here in Omaha, quite a bit. So. But I want to go really back to what you just said about people have it hard, and the way I see it now, and I think this is probably, I don't really remember back in the day how I felt, but I think it was one of those things to where you got no other option. You're gonna just
that's a good point.
You kind of have to get up and fight, and kind of move on. And I think because I was just from a different country. I mean, I had my health, like you said. I was standing. I could learn English, right? It wasn't like I didn't have the ability to, So all that stuff was just basically another challenge in my life that I just had to overcome, and basically, become where I'm at now.
Right.
So all that stuff I think has a meaning to me.
Well, it's all
and made
part
me
of the
where I'm at.
Story. It's the bricks that you use to build the foundation.
Part of the plan. No, absolutely. And soccer was definitely one of them, because it really taught me quite a bit in college, and just playing at a high level, meeting so many different people. But at the same time, I mean, the whole team thing in soccer is huge.
Sure.
And now we have a team at the office, and we're growing. We're going to have we're open. We've got a second building. We're working on third location, fourth and fifth.
Wow.
And then hopefully expanding this all over the country to where we have, my goal is to have 100 different locations, CJ Insurance Networks, all over the country, because why not?
Well, why not?
Why not?
You've started from scratch. There's no reason not to keep on going.
Absolutely.
Huh? Well, that's terrific. And so, After college, then you learned a lot about networking, a lot about friendship, and all that from soccer and from college.
Absolutely.
What was your first job?
So first job right after college. Well, I worked since I was 14 because my dad didn't come with me, so it was just my mom, and we had to kind of fend for ourselves.
Wow.
And you know, so I've been working since 14. My first job was McDonald's, which was awesome. Still my favorite job.
There you go.
And then 22, I was at Hertz. I was basically a manager and trainer over at Hertz rental place, and worked there, you know, and then I found Wells.
You got some of that big company kind of enterprise thinking level. You got a sample of bureaucracies and large employers, and I mean they have good training and good environment, and you learn a lot. And you built on that, and then you went to
Wells Fargo, you know, from one corporation to a bigger corporation. And Wells Fargo, if it wasn't for Wells Fargo, I wouldn't be where I'm at. You know, Wells Fargo had such a big impact in my life. It teaches you, you know, the training, which you said is incredible. What they teach you at Wells Fargo and all that stuff that they do, and just the way they treated me and everything, it was absolutely awesome. And it was between that or State Farm, because I did apply for State Farm at that time, and they told me I wasn't good enough at that point. You know, so another challenge
another
that
rejection.
I'm like, I am going to take this, and we're going to work on it. So I went to Wells Fargo.
How long before? I mean, not what year, but how long between the time you applied the first time and then rejected and then were accepted the second time?
Yeah, so 2011 is when I got rejected, and then 2013 is when I got back 2 years later, back to becoming back to a State Farm agent.
Wow.
Yeah.
So tell us about the journey from Wells to State Farm. How did that happen?
From Wells to State Farm, you know, my father-in-law is a State Farm agent of 30 years, and you know, my wife's been in the State Farm world all her life, you know, so you know, it was one of those things to where, you know, I had a pretty good relationship with my father-in-law. We talked quite a bit, and you know, at that point, State Farm was at a different state as a company, and it was very, very, very attractive. You know, it was a big corporation. I was like, well, you know, people know State Farm. One of the biggest things, they had that trust that we were talking about that I have now, which it took me 8 or 9 years to work out Wells and State Farm, the biggest corporations, to build the trust of my own, which helped me.
You bet.
Absolutely. So yeah, that being said, so that's when, you know, October of 2013 is when they gave me, after the second try, the third time was the charm when I got the State Farm office, and you know, we did real well. We ended up, when I left State Farm, we were the 33rd best agent in the country on fire, which is
in the country.
We left on the top in the country.
33 in the country.
Yep. In 2017 we were in the 30s. 2018 we were in the 30s, and 2017 I believe as well. So,
wow. And this is in 6 years, 7 years time.
6 years. So 2013. So 2014 was when my first year. So 2014 to 2018, in about 4 years, we were the top 30 in the country.
No, I mean, we have a section at the end of the show asking for advice, but what business advice for other entrepreneurs who are starting something? What do you attribute that to? You know, I mean, there's only 33 agencies in the nation with a huge company of State Farm.
Correct.
I mean, huge company, and you got that high in that few years. What do you attribute that to?
All the challenges in life. You know,
that foundation, that bricks that we built, maybe.
Yeah, everything. You know, I mean, I've always had the grit to do it. I knew I could do it, but it was, you know, the people that surrounded me was a huge part of it, I believe. Yeah. You know, people that are always motivating me, which is my team. I've had the same team since 2014, pretty much. So,
wow. Well, that helps.
So what I kind of envisioned watching all the podcasts and learning different ways to run a team, because it wasn't just me. I wasn't the one. It was my whole team surrounding me, with being my wife and my kids and my father-in-law and my brothers and my mom and all them, that had an impact to it too, right? So, because you don't become that good by just doing it by yourself. You know, you got to have a pretty good surround. Right. With that being said, taking risks. You know, a lot of people, I think, they don't take the risk. They don't think outside the box. I think that's one of the biggest things, that I think a lot of people just stay in their shell and they don't try to peel it a little bit to get out of it, to see what else is there, right? Right.
Well, I'm sure State Farm had a formula, and they taught you that formula, but then Cyrus brought the Cyrus Jaffrey thinking to it, and I mean, social media. I know you're strong on social media. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, social media were huge. I think the millennials, I mean, that's where, you know, honestly, we get about 30-40% of our business from social media. Yeah. It's incredible how much power. And people don't just call you and say, I'm looking for insurance
No.
just out of the blue,
No.
because they have to be thinking insurance. Something in their life happened. They're
Right.
buying a new house. They had a 16-year-old driver.
Well, with me, exactly.
Yeah.
That was my story.
Yeah.
I had a current agent with a brand name company, and my son turned 16,
Yeah.
and the agent said, "Oh, well, you
Yeah.
got his license, and says now you're going to have to pay this." And
Yeah.
I said, that's more than twice of what
Yeah.
I'm paying now. Certainly there must be another option. So
Yeah.
I knew you from our networking
Yeah.
organization, and I called you up, and
Yeah.
you fixed me up.
And I'm
So-
guessing that's a captive agency, which they didn't have other options. That's the option.
Probably
and
so.
You're gonna,
Yeah, it was.
You're gonna
Yeah,
take it, or
yeah.
you're
And
gonna
explain
go.
what a captive agency
Yeah,
is.
so a captive agency is basically companies that can only write with one company. You know, for example, State Farm, Allstate, Farmers, some of these Farm Bureau, some of these companies, they only have that one. They don't want you to go ahead and have
Right.
20 companies that you can go to. They just want you to write with them. That's called captive in
Sure,
our world,
sure.
in the insurance
But
world.
you're the opposite of that.
I'm the opposite of that. I have 20 companies. I have contracts with 20 companies. We got to keep these 20 companies happy. So we have the staff to do it, and obviously we're looking for the clients as well. And we are off to a great start. I mean, I never in my crazy mind would have thought that we would be where we're at 4 months after leaving a big corporation
Well,
like
that's
that.
terrific.
But
Well,
you know,
what's that like? I mean,
Yeah.
our audience is a lot of people who either want to start their own business or have started and want to go to
Yeah.
the next level.
Absolutely.
You've done that. I mean,
Yeah.
tell us about the difference between an entrepreneur and kind of a captive agency.
Yeah, an entrepreneur is somebody that thinks outside the box. That you know, you're gonna have 1 or 2 years of hard time, but at the same time, if it wasn't for those 1 or 2 years, there's no way, you know, you'd be where you're at here at this point, or where I'm at with State Farm. My first 1 or 2 years with State Farm was really hard, right? So
Of course.
you just got to do it, because if you don't put the seeds in place, obviously you're not going to grow. So that's what we're doing right now, is we're taking risks, a lot of different risks. We're taking a big payroll and buying all these other buildings, but I have a vision in mind, and by that I mean is I'm taking very big risks, but I believe in myself, and I've believed in myself since I was very little, and I think it's all going to pay off, and it's already showing us. We're on track, honestly. With State Farm, it took us about 6 years to be where we're at. We could be there in about 1.5 years.
Wow.
Where we were with State Farm.
Because of the extra customization, the extra buffet, is that why? Or?
Yeah, I think our biggest customer is honestly the millennials. That's who we write the most.
And I've heard, I'm going to interrupt you here, I've heard that the millennials are the largest age group now.
Oh, sure.
It used to be the baby boomers.
Yep.
There's 78 million of me
Yep.
out there, but I think they're dying off.
Yeah.
And so
happening.
the millennials now are the largest group in the workforce, and the largest group age-wise.
Age-wise,
You
okay.
know, that segment. So I think you're in a good demographic.
Yeah, no, absolutely. We
and
are.
your staff. Tell us about your staff. I
Yeah,
mean, you don't have too many guys my age around there.
I think I think everybody is literally. I mean, I got somebody at 15 years old. He's 21 now with me, and then our oldest person's 35. So I mean, we don't, you know, but they've been with me for 5 years. So they're
Yeah.
35, but in insurance they're 50 years old, because they know all that. They have all that experience.
That's a good one.
You know,
that's a quote I should write down. In
Yeah.
insurance, they're 50 years old.
They're 50 years old.
They've gotten a lot of miles out
Gotta
of that short period of time.
Yeah.
Compressed experience there.
And these people I can push. You know, millennials. I think they want to be bigger, better, faster, write more business, make more money, all that stuff.
And
we can do
millennials,
that.
from what I know about them, and I have 3 of them I've raised,
Yeah.
they want to be part of something. And they
Absolutely.
want to be part of something meaningful.
Absolutely.
Talk to entrepreneurs or wannabe
Yeah.
entrepreneurs out there about that, about
Yeah.
employing a millennial, about what you think they want and need.
Yeah, I think that's who I go for every time. You know, and we're looking for agents right now that can open up shops all around the country in Omaha, and we're looking for millennials. We're looking for young people that can that are go-getters, that have maybe been in the insurance in the past, but if they're not, that's no problem at all. We're looking for people to be an entrepreneur, because when you go into this
Sure.
field, because I am pretty much an entrepreneur by having all these contracts, but when I'm looking for other entrepreneurs is for them to do the same thing. Come use these contracts that I have, 20 different contracts, and build their own legacy for their own
Sure.
kids and all that stuff, because I'm
Well,
kind
you-
of done
you-
building State Farm's legacy. I'm ready for my own.
Well, I love that. You know, instead of, I've worked in jobs before where I had to, you know, I was working on 100% commission. And I mean, if you count that a job, I guess it was a job. I was
Yeah.
kind of captive. And the thing is, Cyrus, I said, well, you know, if I don't get the commission, or if I do get commission, obviously it's a sale for that person.
Correct.
The logic is I'm building their dream. I'm not building my own dream.
Absolutely.
And so now I have growmedia.com, and I'm building my own dream, and
Good for you.
expansion media-wise is my goal. And it just feels so much better, doesn't it, to work that way?
It feels incredible. Every day you're accomplishing something, and it's for your kids and for your legacy and for what you want to do.
And you have a big picture range in mind.
Yeah.
You want to talk about building all these different locations, but you've got two little reasons at home to.
Two little reasons at home, and by doing that, I never want anybody to think that they have to work 80 hours, 90 hours. Can you work? My wife said you could do this, but you're going to be home at 5 o'clock, and there is no ifs or buts about it, right? So I said, okay, I'm going to work from 8 to 5 Monday through Friday, and I'm going to accomplish. Like I'm working 8 a.m. to 8 o'clock at night, Monday through Saturday.
Compression.
Absolutely.
So you got compression.
You got to find how to make sure that you work 30 hours, but you're really working 60 hours, right? So.
Okay, we could talk all day, but I got to wrap this up, Cyrus. What advice, in a nutshell, do you have for fledgling, budding, emerging entrepreneurs out there?
Hey, I really want you to take a look. There's many different things you could do. It's not insurance. It's not other stuff. There's many different things. I think what the first thing that they need to do, Paul, is they just need to take the leap of faith. Just go and do it. Just do it, because you will never know, and you're going to sit 20 years from now saying, "Wish I would have tried it." Because the worst thing that can happen is you're going to lose maybe 6 months. You're going to say that was a bad idea.
Yeah.
But what if this was the best idea you've ever had?
Well, and I think that's succinct and excellent advice. I've heard it said, I don't want to look back in my life regretting what I didn't do.
Biggest reason I made the move.
Excellent. We'll leave it right there. Hey, thanks for joining us on this episode of the Grow Your Biz Show. Please visit growmedia.com and check out what we're doing. I've got some seminars coming up. About one of them's called You on social media video, teaching people to do their own video.
That's awesome.
Getting out there on social media. You're expert on all that stuff, so you probably don't need to come, but I'd love it if you did. Anyway, check that out. And in the meantime, until next week, get out there and grow something.